Hi there friends, we just had Denis Gundarev from the WVD Engineering team on our episode, talking about all the recent RDP protocol improvements such as RDP Shortpath for Windows Virtual Desktop.
Hello guys.
And we just took a deep dive with Denis on those protocols in WVD and how you can start leveraging them and get all the benefits today. Join us because we're starting right now.
Hi there friends, and welcome on another episode of Desktops in the Cloud, your technical driven video podcast with guest speakers from Microsoft Engineering and as well the worldwide virtual desktop communities.
And thanks to everyone who's supported us here at Desktops in the Cloud by clicking that subscribe button and sharing our videos with others. If you would like to appear in a future episode of Desktops in the Cloud, ping us on social media or our website, desktopsinthecloud.com.
So this episode is all around RDP protocol improvements such as RDP Shortpath with Denis Gundarev, one of the program managers of the Windows Virtual Desktop Engineering team, which is responsible for the RDP protocol. So hi Denis, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you as another important voice of the WVD Engineering team in our episode. So not everybody knows who you are and knows about the person behind the feature, the protocol in this specific. So can you level set the viewers and tell the viewers a little bit more about yourself and your role within Microsoft and your responsibilities?
I'm pretty new to Microsoft. It's less than 2 years that since I joined the company, but I'm not new to the industry. I came from VMware and I was with Citrix before that. And all my career was focused about desktop virtualization, the protocols, and I'm doing this for more than 20 years. So at Microsoft, I'm working at Remote Desktop Services and Windows Virtual Desktop Group. What I'm doing, I'm managing the protocol. I'm driving the improvements in the protocol and making sure that we are bringing the features, new features to the protocol, and we bring in the old features, and we are documenting the old features that are not widely known, and I'm describing them to the audience.
So that's great information and great to start with. So let's start with the RDP protocol. So the RDP protocol has been around for a while and has been part of Windows since 1998, starting to land in an operating system since Windows NT 4, and after that as well as part of operating systems that are newer, of course. So can you share the viewers a little bit about the history of RDP and how it looks as part of today?
Yeah, that's right. Microsoft added RDP protocol to Windows NT 4.0 Terminal Server Edition. It's called name Hydra, if you know it. But the actual protocol is actually coming from NetMeeting. There was 2 versions of the protocol even before it was released for Windows NT. So it's pretty old protocol. It sounds old. It's more than 20 years since the protocol was added, but we were adding new features. We were redesigning some of the components with every Windows version. Every Windows release, it can be Windows 2000 or it can be Windows Vista, Windows 7, was bringing new features. We added remote effects back in Windows 7 time. We added a cheap option for the GPU virtualization at the time, and added a lot of brand new functionality like USB device redirection. We brought UDP to the RDP as the transport for the remote protocols earlier than many of the vendors on the market. We brought it during the Windows 8 timeframe, and we were adding video encoding. We were adding a lot of new features, and it was released with every Windows. Every Windows that came to the market had new improvements in the protocol, and that's especially true for Windows 10. Starting with Windows 10, original Windows 10 release back in 2015, and with every anniversary releases, with every semi-annual releases, we are bringing new features to the protocol and to everything around the protocol. We added support to non-Windows clients. Back in the day, we added camera redirection, we improved 4K remoting, and we improved multi-monitor support, and a lot of other things. And the improvements keep coming, and we have a lot of things on our roadmap.
So that's great to hear, and you really can see in that diagram that in the last like 5 years, when like Windows 10, Windows as a Service has been like released, yeah, the improvement really started to take off, and yeah, the RDP protocol really is making yeah, miles and big steps right now to yeah, to improve the experience as part of, yeah, for example, Windows Virtual Desktop. So as part of some announcements on that list, and what we recently saw as well as part of announcements that we as part of Microsoft made, was something called RDP Shortpath. So can you share a little bit more what that is and level set the viewers a little bit about like what the key benefits of RDP Shortpath yeah, are?
Thanks. Yes, we recently announced a public preview of RDP Shortpath. RDP Shortpath is a brand new transport that we are adding for RDP protocol for Windows Virtual Desktop. And it brings us a lot of benefits, such as better reliability of the connection, less dependency on the gateways, improved bandwidth detection technologies that are based on the URCP protocol, and it brings us support for quality of services policies for those customers who want to adjust their network equipment to prioritize the RDP traffic. And it also brings the traffic limiting that is requested by many customers that have constrained networks.
So can you explain for us, Denis, since WVD is based on this reverse connect technology, and probably just go over that quickly just to level set people, but how is RDP Shortpath different from that?
Yes, so reverse connect is a technology that was added to the RDP stack when we brought the Windows Virtual Desktop to the market. And reverse connect is a great secure method of establishing the RDP connection to your desktops in the cloud. But from the technical perspective, reverse connect is one of the transports that can be used for the RDP. Since the very beginning, when RDP was invented back in 1998, we started this protocol as the multi-transport capable protocol. So it doesn't matter how do you run the RDP, how do you connect the actual endpoints. For the protocol itself, we can use multiple transport. So reverse connect is a TCP-based transport that is based on connectivity to the infrastructure and the gateways, and we are heavily using it in WVD, and our customers are really happy with it. But in some cases, in some scenarios, customers are willing to run the traffic over their express route to better use the express route connection, and in those cases when they care about the improved latency and improved performance. And RDP Shortpath brings this as the technology that connects the client to the session host directly. On top of that, we are using RDP protocol, and it improves the connectivity overall. But we are not replacing reverse connect, we are complementing reverse connect. As RDP is the multi-transport protocol, we are using reverse connect to establish the connection and then trying to negotiate the short path. And if it is successful, then we are switching most of the traffic, such as graphics, keyboard and mouse, and other devices. We're switching into UDP to make sure that users have better user experience and connectivity.
Okay, so then can you explain for us then, and maybe walk us through how RDP Shortpath works in comparison to how Reverse Connect works?
Yes, so to understand the short path, you better to know how the reverse connect works. And we recently made a big update to our documentation, and we added a brand new networking section to the Windows Virtual Desktop documentation. And I don't want to go into the details because there is a lot of them, but you can always go to the documentation page to find what is the connection flow for the reverse connect. But in short, reverse connect establishes the connection to the gateway from both session host and the client. And right after the session host and client are connected over the gateway and the RDP protocol is negotiated, we are bringing the short pass. And if RDP Shortpath is enabled, session host would announce its own IP addresses, the IP addresses that are assigned to this VM to the client, and client will try to establish a connection to one of those IP addresses. It can be a private IP address accessible over the express route or site-to-site VPN, or it can be even a public IP address if you like to access it from home during these uncertain times. So as soon as client receives the IP addresses over the secure reverse connect, it tries to connect directly, and again, we have a full description of this in the documentation, including the diagram that I'm sharing right now with you. And as soon as it is connected, we switch all of the graphics and the rest of the dynamic visual channels to the new transport. And then you can open the connection information dialog box and find that you are using UDP for your connectivity, and you may find that your network latency is reduced and you have more available bandwidth that is available for the session.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Are there any other Azure networking security requirements for this feature? Like, for example, are there any or certificates involved that we need or anything like that?
Yes, so there's nothing new, but as a refresher, Reverse Connect is a protocol that is established over the gateway, and we are using TLS connection from the client and from the session host to the gateway. And those connections are secured with the certificates that are managed by Microsoft. But within this tunnel, within this Reverse Connect tunnel, we are establishing traditional RDP channel that is using TLS as well, and it's kind of nested TLS session. And this nested TLS session is using the certificates that are installed on the session host and that can be managed by the client, by the customer. So when we are adding the short pass connectivity, short pass transport is also using the certificate, the same certificate that is used inside that TLS transport. So customer may use their certificates that are deployed using their certification authority. They can buy the third-party certificates, or they can continue to use self-signing certificates, because the connection is actually secured with Credus SP authentication, and we are verifying that the server that you connect in is actually the server that you're supposed to connect.
Okay, that sounds good. Since we're going to have RDP Shortpath going over things like ExpressRoute and VPNs, what can we do for things like traffic shaping, quality of service, that kind of thing?
Yes, so the good thing that it's kind of like it was easy to implement feature. The good thing with RDP Shortpath that it is going over the managed networks. It is designed for ExpressRoute or for site-to-site VPN connections. So basically for the connections that customer manage. And when customer manage their network paths between different devices, they own the equipment or they have control over that equipment. And what they can do, they can set up the quality of service policies. They can prioritize some types of traffic over other traffic. You can compare it with like the carpool lanes on the highway, where some cars are driving without stopping while others are waiting for the highway to free up. So you can prioritize WVD traffic over those connections, or if you have other important traffic and you think that RDP is taking too much, you can configure the DCP policies to lower the priority of the RDP traffic. And depending on what you do, you can either prioritize your voice IP traffic that is outside of the WVD connection, or you can improve the audio experience or video experience of the users connected to the Windows Virtual Desktop by setting the real-time priority for WVD traffic. And another side effect of this that we are using, so for quality of services marking, we are using the feature that exists in Windows since probably Windows 7, the QoS policies. And one of the things that you can do with QoS policies, quality of service policies, is to limit the traffic, to set the cap on the upper limit, how much each session would take. So many customers that are running on constrained networks were asking us for this feature because they have MPLS connections that they paying for, and they want to limit the traffic. And our answer was always that RDP will back off, and RDP is dynamic protocol that works on the depending on how much bandwidth is available, and it is true. But in some scenarios, you actually want to limit. And Shortpath gives you this option by just setting the cap. Yes, user experience may suffer, but with proper planning and understanding the bandwidth considerations for the RDP data, you can find the right bandwidth for specific user sessions and configure it using the policies on the session host.
And speaking of network bandwidth requirements, there's a question I've been waiting to ask somebody for quite a while. Do we have any kind of insights as in what the workload types get into in bandwidth requirements for the RDP protocol?
Yes, as a part of the release of the documentation that we just made for the RDP Shortpath, we are actually updated our recommendations for the bandwidth bandwidth considerations, and we have different sets for different types of graphics settings. For default RDP mode and for the video encoding mode, and we actually published this as a part of documentation with exact mapping between the scenario, like is it an office workload or is it a video playback, and how much bandwidth it will take in different policy settings. And we also published some recommendations on how to estimate the traffic that is outside of the graphics pipeline, the file redirection or printing traffic, how to understand how to do that. And you can use the network equipment to measure this traffic. You can use performance counters to measure this traffic, and you should always measure this traffic in your network. But the new bandwidth recommendations that we published as a part of our documentations will be a great help to you to just plan your network and plan your network capacity.
Yeah, I know a lot of customers who are going to love to go through this. What's on the future here? What's in the roadmap for protocols?
Yeah, so we are constantly working on improvements in the protocol, and it affects both the graphics pipeline, like the codecs that we use, the efficiency of the codecs that we use, utilization of the hardware on both encoding side on the server side and decoding on the client side, power consumption on the client side. There is a lot of things that can be improved to better use modern hardware that is available on the client sides, and we constantly doing this. But we also working on the networking piece, and we are so the RDP Shortpath is one of the things that we announced, but it's not like a transport for the future. It's one of the transport for the futures. For the future, we will bring new transports for the RDP protocol next year and after that. And there is a lot of improvements we can make for Azure specific use cases and for WVD specific use cases, but as well for the RDP protocol that is used on premises and by our consumers as well.
That sounds great. I mean, a lot of great information here, which you've mentioned people can find on the WVD docs page. How can people follow you either on social media or get in touch with you, ask questions, provide feedback, that kind of thing?
Everybody is free to follow me on Twitter. I'm pretty active on Twitter, and feel free to direct message me or respond to the comments, and please provide the feedback for the RDP Shortpath. As a part of the RDP documentation, we have a link to the form that is asking for your feedback for the RDP Shortpath. And please bring all of your feature requests to the WVD feedback hub that is linked to every web page with documentation for WVD. And we will be happy to hear your feedback and your feature requests and prioritize our work according to them.
Sounds great. Thanks for joining us today, Denis, and thank you for watching Desktops in the Cloud. Make sure that you're subscribed and that you click the like button and that you share our videos with others. Maybe even click that notification bell so you find out when our new videos come out. And you don't want to miss out on our next video because it's going to be a good one. We'll see you next time.